Hello everyone, welcome to 100 Days Mathematics Conceptual Learning Challenge. Today we'll discuss the another topic related to quadrilaterals. Basically, we are going to deal with square and rhombus today. Okay, so let's start with the topic square. Now, what is the meaning of the square? Square is a parallelogram whose all four sides are equal. Okay, now the first properties of the square is that its all sides are equal. Okay, so we can say all sides are equal. Sides are equal. And another thing you can say that opposite sides are parallel. Since it is a part of the parallelogram, so we can say opposite sides are parallel. Opposite sides are parallel. Okay, now the third point. You can see that each corner is making an L shaped and that angle is called right angle. Okay, so each corner has four right angles. Okay, that means we can say each side, each angle of a square of a square is 90 degree. Okay, now the third point. What is the third point? Mostly it is about the diagonals. Okay, see, it is a part of the parallelogram, so we can say that diagonals of the square are bisecting each other. That means if it is A, then this is also A. If it is B, then this is also B. That means diagonals bisect each other. Diagonals bisect each other. But okay, now diagonals are bisecting each other, but what is the important thing? At 90 degree. Okay, so that means diagonals are bisecting each other at 90 degree. Okay, so I think let me remove this but and keep it as simple. That means diagonals bisect each other at 90 degree. That means diagonals bisect each other at 90 degree. Okay, now another important point. Sorry, this is your fourth point, and then we'll have fifth point. Okay, now what is the fifth important point related to square? And that is the also very important point. Okay, fifth important point is that diagonals are equal, which are not diagonals are equal. We can say diagonals are equal. This property matches with the property of rectangle also. Okay, so diagonals are equal in length. Equal in length. Okay, so diagonals are equal in length. Okay, so these are the five unique properties related to square. Okay, next. Now, how can you find the area of square? See, we know that length of the side of square is equal. So if it is A, it is also A, it is also A, and it is also A. And since it is a parallelogram, we have learned what is the area of parallelogram. Of parallelogram, it is base into height. Okay, now what is base here? Base is A. And what is height? This is your height. You can see it is making a 90-degree angle here. So it is A. So we can say it is A square. That means in another simple way, we can say that area of square equal to A square. Now, what is A here? So A is our length of side of square. Okay, next. Now, now we will find the length of diagonal of a square. Okay, now how will you do that? For that, we are going to use the property of Pythagoras theorem. How? See, we know this is A, this will also be A. So how we can find the length of this diagonal? And since we can see you have got a right angle here, so you can apply the right angle properties in this right angle triangle. What you are going to get? That means we know the hypotenuse square equal to perpendicular square plus base square. So hypotenuse square equal to perpendicular is your a square plus base square will be a square. So it is hypotenuse square equal to 2a square. So h will be equal to under root 2a. Remember, a is outside. Okay, if you're getting confused, you must write h equal to a root 2. Okay, so finally we got this hypotenuse equal to a root 2. That means this is the length of the diagonal, that is a root 2. Okay, find the length of the diagonal of a square. So let us take a square of side 10 centimeter, and I am asked to find the length of the diagonal. Okay, length of diagonal. So how are you going to find out? See, either you remember the formula, the length of the diagonal of a square equal to length of diagonal of a square equal to a root 2. So the answer will be 10 root 2. If it is centimeter, write it centimeter as well. Okay, now suppose I don't remember the formula, I have forgotten the formula a root 2 and I'm getting confused. What should I do? Now I can use the Pythagoras theorem to find this. See, this is your hypotenuse, this is your perpendicular, and this is your base. And here it is 90 degree. This is 10 centimeter, this is also 10 centimeter because they are sides of square. So I can easily find here h square equal to 10 square plus 10 square. Okay, I am putting it as h. Now h square equal to 100 plus 100. So it is h equal to 200, h square equal to 200. H will be equal to under root 200. That can be written as 2 into 100. So it will be 10 root 2. Okay, 10 root 2 centimeter. So if you remember the formula, use this. Otherwise, you can solve this way also. Okay, next. Next, coming to rhombus. What is the meaning of a rhombus? Rhombus is also a parallelogram, but there are some special properties about this rhombus. And how it is different from square, I will tell you. Okay. Now see, first upon remember that a rhombus has all its sides equal. That means all four sides are equal. All four sides are equal. This is very important and special property related to rhombus. All four sides are equal. So if it is A, side is also of A length, and this is also A, and this is also A unit. Now you got the point? Another important point related to rhombus is that their diagonals, that means if you connect the opposite vertex, you will get the diagonals. So you have got two diagonals. Their diagonals may be of same length or may be of different length. So you can say diagonals of rhombus, diagonals of rhombus, rhombus may or may not be equal, may not be equal. Okay, diagonals may or may not be equal. Now the third important property, that diagonals bisect each other. If it is x, this is also x. If it is y, it is also y. Okay, so diagonals bisect each other, bisect each other. Okay, now the fourth property, diagonals bisect each other, but what angle they are making with that? They are making 90-degree. Okay, so we can say diagonals not only bisect, but they bisect each other at 90-degree. Okay, so these are the important properties related to rhombus. Next, now how can we find the area of a rhombus? Okay, so we know what is a rhombus. Rhombus is a quadrilateral whose all four sides are equal. So it is A, this is also A, this is also A, and this is also A. Suppose the length of the two diagonals, this is your diagonal 1. So length of the diagonal 1, length of one diagonal equal to, suppose it is given as D1, and the length of another diagonal, length of other diagonal is given as D2. Okay, now you have been asked to find the area of the rhombus. So how will you find? The formula for area of rhombus will be half into D1 into D2. That means product of diagonals, and that will be divided by 2, or you can say half into product of diagonals. Very important formula this. Okay, area of rhombus equal to half into product of diagonals, that is D1 into D2. Okay, so if somebody has told you that the length of the one diagonal is given as 50 centimeter and length of other diagonal, that is D2, is given as 20 centimeter, and they have asked you to find the area of rhombus. How will you find area of rhombus? Area of rhombus equal to half into D1 into D2. So what is that? Half into, what is D1? 50 centimeter. What is D2? 20 centimeter. Now you cancel out 2 into 25 centimeter, that is 500 centimeter square or square centimeter. Okay. Now next question. Find the length of a diagonal if area and one of the diagonals of a rhombus is given. Now, how will we solving the question if you know the area of any rhombus and length of one diagonal is given? Okay, so let me find the value. Suppose the area of the rhombus is given as, suppose rhombus area of rhombus is is 300 centimeter square. The length of one of its diagonal, one of its diagonal is is 25 centimeter. Find the length of find the length of other diagonal. Okay. Now, how will you find this? See, area. We know the formula area of rhombus equal to half into product of diagonals. Okay. Now, let us assume that this is your D1 and which is given as 25 centimeter. Okay. And this is your D2 whose value is needed to be find out. Okay. Now, this is the rhombus whose area is given as 300 centimeter square. So we can use this formula. Area is given as 300 centimeter square equal to half into D1 is given as 25 centimeter and D2 is given as, we have to find out D2. Now you cancel out, this will be 12 times. So you can say so D2 can be written as 24 centimeter. Okay, so we have found the length of other diagonal. Okay, so this was all from today's session. Thank you for attending this session. If you have any doubts, write in the comment box. We will take your doubts in the next session. Thank you.